You go.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Good Guy Experience. As you notice, it's the ladies of the Good Guy Experience that are here with you tonight. The queens, Black Magic, Snap, Snap. I have with me Dr. Arroyo Rain. How are you today?
Hey, how y'all doing?
All right. And then I have Ms. Communication. How are you?
I'm good. How's everybody doing?
We good.
Absolutely.
And you want me to call it the way I see it, ma'am?
Go ahead.
And last, but apparently not least, I have the pleasure plug. How are you today, hon?
I'm good. How y'all doing? Blessed.
All right. So the ladies are gonna bring something a little different for you today. We're gonna talk about the strength of seduction and yet the lack of love that a lot of us approach relationships with nowadays. We're gonna share a video with you guys, but before I share this video, I would like to ask each of you, what is your secret seduction tactic? Okay. Go ahead, Royal. You gave me the church finger.
Oh, you want me to go now? Okay.
You put your finger up. Come on, honey.
What's yours?
So, I am one that I use my words and gifts. So when I'm trying to seduce, well, in my former day when I was very seductive, I would express and kind of keep you in avoidance for what's next.
Yeah.
So I would kind of hint out to you a little something and use my words like I'm using them right now.
Give a little show then, take it back.
Yeah. And then I would also periodically hit you with a gift and the gift could be a rose, just a single rose.
Okay.
So that was me. Yeah.
She said she gonna spoil her men.
Yeah.
So you would romance them a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I need some notes. Where's my pen?
Okay.
Like, I was ready. I've been taking notes all day, but I guess I might as well keep on going.
Honey.
All right. Okay.
Doctor said give them a little something and know they're special.
Right.
That's what she said. What about you, Miss Communication?
Interestingly enough, I haven't tried to seduce somebody in a long time, so I gotta go back into my days.
Right in the closet, right?
And I don't know if I don't know if it's necessarily seduction, but it would be there was one person I did something weird, and I wouldn't call it seduction. I would say how I'm trying to. I would say at this point shooting my shot, right? Mm-hmm. So many years ago, I was at work, and I noticed that this guy would always go outside at a certain time with his friends, right? So what I did was I would go, innocently. This one day I decided to go outside as well, and I started to talk to them and ignored him. I didn't say anything to him, just, talking to them. And, I said, then I turned and I looked at him and I said, so what did you say your name was again? And he was like, cute shorty. I didn't say my name, but yeah.
What? You seduce it? Okay, shoot.
That was again shooting shot, throwing out some game, that was such a long time ago. And I haven't done anything, like that, in a while, but that was my thing. I'm kind of like, I'm like, okay,
what was this?
I'm like, I go around, what I'm saying? Sometimes you can't go through the front door, you got to go around.
Okay.
Go down the alley and climb over the, you have to
indirectly. Okay.
Right.
What about you, pleasure plug? What's your
first? Okay, so unlike these ladies, words were not my forte. I was at it. Unless I can read you something, I can read you something out of a book.
She's gonna pull out some Maya Angelou for you.
Yeah, we in there. Or sex poetry. We could do that. But in terms of making up the words myself, no. But I'm more so of a touch girl. Like I'll find a way to brush, I'll find a way, brush up against you or something like that. Like, so like I'll flirt.
Wait, do you know your whole voice change?
I mean, because I'm trying to say what I'm saying, but yeah,
I got you. You don't want to give away all your secrets.
I mean, hey, it's sharing is caring.
Oh, okay. Well, you ladies know I've been very honest with y'all. I am seduction handicap. I am not good at it. I've been told I do, but when it's pointed out to me, I turn into like a straight Urkel. So I do not. I am not. Blame it on being a tomboy the majority of my life. I am not good at seduction.
I don't believe it. Oh
my God. Okay, if I am aware that I'm doing it, I'm not.
Something. So you're pulling them in, all right? So
she's Michigan J Frog in them. So you know Michigan J Frog when they were like as soon as she was doing it, and as soon as you say, "Hey, what you doing?" You go, "Oh,
nothing."
Right, like
I sit down and I go,
right.
What are you talking
Right.
Oh my goodness. Well, we want to share a video with you guys of what brought us to this topic tonight. And it will give you better insight of why we chose this topic. It's not just another title. It really is a real problem out there that we are not touching on, not just as women, but in obtaining relationships. So here we go, ladies.
And the truth about it is, y'all, I'm hurting y'all because I want to be loved. I want marriage. You know, a lot of us get on here, we act tough and we be like, I don't want a man, I don't need a man, but I want help. I want to be loved. I want somebody to love me. I want somebody I can be vulnerable with. The problem is, and I'm not crying, y'all, because I'm sad. I'm crying, y'all, because it's like a release right now. But the problem for me, y'all, is that all the relationships that I had with men were not about love. It was about survival for me. I know how to fuck. I know how to cook. I know how to clean. I know how to seduce a man. I do not know how to love a man. And then to have a son, because of those choices that I was making, y'all, and I got pregnant really, really fast. I got pregnant within 90 days of knowing my baby daddy. And we don't talk about this shit because it's embarrassing and it hurts. It fucking hurts. And I'm mad with me. I'm not mad at men. I'm not mad at my life. I'm mad at me because I don't know how to fix me. I don't know how to fix it. That's accountability. That's the shit that hurts. It's realizing that, hey, I got some shit with me that I don't know how to fucking fix. And in turn, because I don't know how to fix that shit, I'm fucking up other people around me. That's accountability. That's the shit that we don't put on social media.
Can we say deep, ladies?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So how do we feel about that?
I mean, if I can say something, I mean, like,
absolutely
watching it out loud, watching it. I think the one thing that she needs to do is when she says, I don't know how to fix me. I mean, therapy. That is a definite, like, she needs some therapy. A lot of people out there need therapy. And it's like to talk this thing out, to say what she said, that's self-actualization. Like, she actually sees herself now and she's saying it out loud, which is so brave to say it out loud.
So brave.
And now that she's gotten this bravery, the next step is, once you identify the problem, now you got to look for some sort of solution, right? So that's basically where I would think that she needs to start. Because honestly, my heart aches for her, but I understand what she's saying. I understand it, and it's like it's not because I've been exactly where she is, but I definitely understand that in that moment when you sit down and you actually start talking about your life and start seeing where it's going or seeing where it went, it's time for her to like sit down with someone who can kind of like listen to her problem and try to figure out how to help her, how to fix it, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. What about you, Pleasure Plug?
I agree. I agree with miscommunication. Because it starts with you, right?
Hmm.
Excuse me. And then next I would just say whatever man she's dealing with at the moment, ask him what he needs to feel love. I mean, he might not know. And that is his self actualization, right?
Facts,
Another
facts.
conversation for y'all to have. So y'all can go individually to therapy and then y'all can go together to therapy, right? Like couples or whatever. Just work on you. That's okay. But it's
Hmm.
start there. All right. And then it's okay to ask what your lover needs to feel loved by you.
Mhm.
And
And
then
I do think a lot of that is missing. Just asking.
just communicate, right? But celebrate this sister for, like you saying, being brave and
Absolutely.
come into that conclusion because it's sometimes it's hard. The truth hurts.
Ooh, honey. But it also hurts because it's the first step in healing, right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah.
That's right.
What about you, doctor?
So
Really?
I'm still getting used to that. All right. So that's me being humble when I do that.
That's all right.
So for me, hearing what this young lady had to say, a couple of things popped out. First of all, um, miscommunication and Miss Pleasure both hit on self love, right? You have to know how to love yourself in order to give love.
Mm-hmm.
That's and that's a foundational skill. Like it starts with you in order for it to exert from you. And so when she brought up about her son and hurting others because she's hurting, I'm assuming that she's like, I got to do better not only for me but for my son, so that he doesn't continue whatever cycle is going on based off of his mom, right?
Yep.
But then the other thing is, what I heard her say is, I can fuck, I can cook, I can do all of these
She even
things.
said she could clean.
I can,
Bravo.
right. She said, I got this. But when it comes down to love, I don't know how. And when we think about seduction and the topic of seduction and love, there is a true divide. And
Yes.
and you got to know how to transcend from the state of seduction into the state of or status of love, and then how to plateau it, because once you learn how to do this number, then you can begin to level that thing out, so that way you're merging love and seduction. Because those of us that are in and I think miscommunication, you're kind of in a committed relationship of a sort.
I
Of a
wouldn't necessarily
sort.
call it committed, but
But
We don't slide past that. Go ahead, doctor. Make your point.
I'm about to do that.
but the thing is, where I'm going with this is, if you and even Black folks attest to this as being married before as well, which is um that transcendence that happens. Once you hit a committed relationship, you're married, whatever the scenario is, or a long-term relationship, you still have to keep some seduction going
Absolutely.
in that relationship, which is where
Absolutely.
my pleasure plug, Miss Pleasure Plug, is coming into play, because you got to keep that thing going in order to keep each other ignited, keep that light going,
that flame going. The
Well,
flame.
that
The flame.
ignition.
here's what I
So,
think that
yeah,
concern is, okay?
yeah.
I think we take that whatever you did to get your person is what you have to do to keep them too
Mhm,
in a box.
mhm,
Okay? I'm not
mhm,
saying I don't agree with that.
No, you're right. No, I agree.
But what I'm saying is seduction is like the preface, right? When you're
absolutely.
reading a
Yeah.
book, it's the preface. That doesn't mean it's not going out throughout the book. See, a preface is telling you about the person who created the book. The seduction is saying, hey, I have this. And then, you go ahead and bring all the other stuff in. But that doesn't mean you leave the essence of the book, which is seduction. You married 5 years or in a relationship 5 months, 5 years, 15 years, 25 years, that still needs to be there, right? Because that's the ingredient that worked to make things start. Okay.
Exactly.
I have a story. You know, I always got a story. I talk to so many people. I think I always have a story. I have someone that I know, and she literally, I show her the video, and she's like, "Yeah, that's what I do too." I'm like, "Excuse me?" So she met her. She's married now. She met her husband, and she was like, you know, when she decided I'm interested in him, she took pictures of her vagina and text them to him. Okay. He didn't react. I'm sure he enjoyed it, but he didn't react and like pounce her, is in her words. So that didn't work. So she wrote some sexual innuendos on a paper, handed it to him, and he reacted. Fantastic. About 6 months, less than 6 months down the line, she literally felt like everything he did was not good enough. They were arguing. She was like, "Why are you looking at this person? Why?" And her issue was she knew how she got him, so she felt any woman could get him like that. And the reason why she felt like those arguing is sex wasn't working anymore. It wasn't enough anymore. And they were just arguing and arguing and arguing and consistent jealousy. And she was saying it kind of creates this I own you feeling and the fear that anyone can snatch you away. So when we had that conversation, and you ladies have heard me say that before, I told her, I said, "Oh, well, I'm different than you. My vagina is not my driving force. It's the bonus. I want to be like, look, I'm cute, I'm smart, I have skills, I can cook, I can clean, I can raise kids, and cherry on top, my nana is fantastic, you know?" And she laughed at me and she goes, "No, my vagina is my driving force." And she said it just like that. And she literally said, "And there's more people like me than you, so don't tell me I'm wrong."
Yeah.
This is why we have a lot of relationships, at least in my experience, meaning experience that I see, where people are like arguing to have sex because you're going back to what. Listen now, I've heard a lot of people act like that is the fantastic part of their relationship, but that makeup sex, why we gotta keep fighting though? Like, right? Yeah. So I just want to share that with y'all. What do you think the core? I mean, come on, we struggle as ladies. You all are beautiful to me, but we still struggle, right? And feeling beautiful and looking beautiful, right? We go through a lot, and it's most times, even though we say it's or people believe it's for men, it's for ourselves, so that we look in the mirror and feel confident. What do you think the struggle is that a lot or people, because men do it too, are using their sexual organs or seducing their way into relationships and not transcending, as Royal said, into love? Why do you think that's happening?
So I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about some people are more inclined to the chase, right?
Yes,
like, that's what they want.
Yeah.
And once they catch you, now they don't know what to do with you, right?
Yeah.
So some people are just like, some people, men, women, or everybody, they're just into the chase.
Yeah.
So if you're a person who's like, oh, I like him, I'm gonna get him, or you just into that thing. Once the game is over, right? Once you've got the checkmate, and now okay, I did it, yay! Now what to do with it? I think that's the issue. The issue is, listen, I can honestly tell you, I haven't been in a relationship like me, you together in a while.
You mean exclusively?
Yeah, and I don't even mean like, I mean like saying, okay, this is the actual definition of what it is, right? And I found myself looking for a relationship and not necessarily caring who I had a relationship with. So it was like, okay, so I want a relationship. Okay, I like you. Let's see how this goes. No, okay, fine. Okay, I like you. Let's see how this. No, okay, let's go. And it was in that part. I'm coming to the understanding and the actual like, oh, with myself now, and saying, okay, so maybe I just need to like figure out what it is that I want, and not necessarily put it, because I would literally be like, oh well, the reason why it doesn't work is because of ABC, or I'd find a reason why it's not working, and it's like, no, it's not that they're not working, is that I'm being self-absorbed at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's about me, and it's not about what I'm giving. So it again, I'm not a person that likes to chase, but the chase is,
don't like to chase, or you don't like to be
I don't
chased?
like, I mean, chase is fun.
I'm asking.
So it's like, oh, okay. And it's like, and it's that part, right? But once that part is,
are you the coyote or are you the roadrunner?
See, and then sometimes listen, sometimes some days I'm the coyote, some days I am the roadrunner. Blowing, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm blowing things up, TNT all day. Like, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the thing about it is that once you get to a point where you start to like really sit and say to yourself, okay, what is it that I actually want? That's the issue. So the seduction part, again, like I said, game. It's all about the game. It's like the game. I like it. I like a good game, but I don't like to play games. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. What about you, Pleasure Plug?
Yeah, no, I was thinking that because you have to go into it knowing whether or not you want love. You know what I mean? In order for it to transcend or even
or even know what love is to begin with.
Like for it to be a thing. That wasn't even a conversation. You know what I'm saying? So okay, I can, as a single person that's on here, that's been single for a minute on purpose. You know, I've only been in situationships by choice. But like the thing of that was I wasn't looking for love. I was looking for seduction. Okay, I was looking to get seduced and all that, like, and do the seducing, like whatever. But I wasn't looking for love, right? But like now, I'm open to things changing. But you got to be open to those things, right? So you have to know what you want. Now I know I want not necessarily that, but if it happens, I'm not mad about it, right? So you gotta be open to it in order for it to come to you.
Do you feel, and I'm gonna cut to you, Roya, because I know I see. Okay. Do you feel that people settle for companionship because they really don't know what love is, and just having someone there is okay? Look, I didn't finish the sentence. Okay.
I mean, because again, it goes back to self, right? Like,
yeah. And I've said before on our podcast, a person can only accept the love they think they deserve. That's not a joke. That's facts. You know what I mean? That's facts. I think for me, because I feel like you're gonna drop a gem, so let me go ahead and put my part in. Hold on, Roya. I think for me, because I know the love I give and the lover that I am, nah, I'm not looking for nothing. It's gonna find me. That's it. And it's not, I'm not being egotistical about this. This is, I've done it another way before. I've done it. And in that process, I realized I'm not going back there. And I've seen it. And I know I've heard from people like, oh, it's not realistic. No, for you, it's not. For me, it is. But because I'm giving it to myself already. You get what I'm saying to you? I'm giving it to myself. I'm looking for someone to match my energy. Right? Does it have to be perfect? No. But at that same time, you know, like I said, my handicap of seducing, when I get to the love part, we gonna miscommunication. We gonna make it right. We gonna make it happen. I'm giving you 100. I'm 10 toes down into the ground, and if that pinky toe break, I'm gonna take another toe from somewhere else and make it happen because I'm invested. And then after all of that, I'm gonna go, come on, Il Nana, join. Right? Not the other way around. I'm just being real with you, not the other way around. The reason why I'm saying that is to co-sign what miscommunication said. This whole I'm a play a game. No, because that's what happens. You throw it out there. I'm not into sports anymore. I love football. By the way, my Giants are up. But the point that I'm making is you throw out there your vagina, and then you're like, okay, he caught the vagina. Yes. Now I'm switching up the whole game because now I want love. That's not what you put out there.
Mhm.
That's not what you put out there. And
Mhm.
so now we get into this, oh, men don't know what they want. No, 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 no.
You the
The
one.
pre-show, the promo said vagina.
You start
So
that fire.
you're expecting the coming attraction in the movie to be what? Vagina. Okay. That's my
Mm-hmm.
2 cents.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Royal.
So, oh Lord, I don't know where to start. Y'all done dropped so many nuggets. Okay, so,
Go
okay,
ahead, give us
so
a 5-piece.
yeah, let me. Okay, so first of all, seduction. Let me explain to our viewers today. So, seduction, um, can be about manipulation. Okay, that's actually one of the definitions of seduction is manipulation. Okay. Now, when we think about manipulation, oftentimes we think about it from a self-gaining, like it's all about me.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be a selfish motive.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
for example, like this, the young lady in the clip, she wants love. It has nothing to do with her being selfish. It's a need that she's trying to feel or
Mm-hmm.
hoping to feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to make that distinction. So, because sometimes when we think about, like I say, in general, we think about seduction, we're thinking about people being tempted and let me allure, let me lure you into my chambers, do this, that, the third to you. You know what I'm saying? So so when we look at seduction, don't think about it in that context automatically, because that's where the judgment comes into play, which is what the young lady that you spoke to was speaking about. Like, don't judge me. um so I have one, two, three. I found, and I thought this was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I got y'all know about my glasses. I'm old, y'all, older. So let me tell you.
You
So
seasoned. Fix that.
okay, I'm seasoned. I like some string beans. All right, here we go. So, transition from seduction to into a relationship or to love. There are 3 steps for transition. Okay.
Okay, come
First
on.
of all, first step is to focus on quality of connection. And that's what
Yes.
miscommunication was speaking to earlier. See, I'm listening to y'all. I just got a
Oh
little
no, go
taste of
ahead.
this.
Go ahead. Go
So
ahead. Give us the prescription for what we need. Go ahead.
so quality of connection, that is, and Madam Miss Pleasure Plug also spoke to this about having that connection. Let's connect, let's have communication, let's talk about what our needs are, what we're looking for, and have basically a understanding of one another. So if it's going into this thing for the lust of it, y'all heard what I said, for the
Yes, for
lust
the lust of it.
of
If
it.
we just getting
For the
down,
lust. Yeah,
clapping and
if it's
moving
for the
on, let's
lust
get
of
down,
it, then
clap,
that's
and
an
move
understand.
on.
Right,
Yes,
absolutely.
I got
So,
you.
so number one, focus on qualitative connection. What connection are we trying to make here?
Mhm.
Secondly, and the intimacy role that plays.
Okay.
Secondly, oh gosh, this was a hitter. The second one says, know the difference between attraction of inspiration
Mm.
versus attraction of deprivation. Let me break those two
Wait a
terms
minute.
down.
Break that down.
Oh,
Break that
oh,
down.
now.
So,
Okay.
attraction of inspiration is basically the building block for love.
Okay.
Okay.
Like
So when you
someone
talk,
inspires you to be better, do
absolutely.
but
So
yeah,
right.
that's some real stuff
So
too.
so
I
when
like-
we think about attraction of inspiration, that's when, like I said, we're hitting that transcendent, and now we're starting to plateau, right? That's that bridge, because at that point, I'm beginning to change because Black Pearl, you make me better,
Mhm.
and
Mm.
I'm making
Look,
you
look,
better.
look, here's my plug, and I will.
So,
Crazy.
so
Why
that's what. So
would?
that's what that is. Now, attraction of deprivation is what you ladies have already spoke to as well. The whole chase. Let me chase you. Let me see what I can, what I can jump out on you with this time. And then I'll
Can I pause you there?
Yes, baby, go ahead.
Can I pause you there? And this
Absolutely.
is a question for everyone, but pausing you there because you made an excellent point.
Yeah.
But if you don't know what real love is, wouldn't the person that inspires you scare you because you don't feel like you're worth being better or you're good enough for that? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
It does make sense. But that's where, and ladies, y'all feel free to chime in too. Like that's where the connection, that's where the whole communication foundation is so fundamental. If you do not have invested time, because this is a process. This whole thing we're talking about, well, seduction is seduction. Seduction can be real quick.
Seduction been around since the first rib got cracked from someone. You know what I mean? Like
correct.
We know.
So seduction can be very quick or it can be prolonged. And I'll talk about that later. But because there's a process of seduction too, if it's done properly, which is what keeps you reeling back. Okay, but anyway, I'll talk to y'all.
You give too much too fast, too much.
Let me pull back. So having that that ability to have that open communication out the gate and that connection, which is again built upon intimacy, not sex. Y'all see my hands? Not sex. not sex.
Okay, with the hand gestures.
Yeah, but actual intimacy, having that companionship, that compassion, all of that.
I want to challenge that.
That won't scare you. You won't be scared anymore.
I want to challenge that thought. So we talk, and I know Pleasure Plug said this also. Mm-hmm. You're saying intimacy. I want to challenge that and say vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have that. There are people that are together in relationships and they're sleeping together, living together, paying bills together, but there is not a vulnerability together. Just because I'm having sex with you and I'm not trying to be funny, I climax with you, does not mean that I can be vulnerable with you. That cry but laugh, that I'm scared, that's a vulnerability.
But that's about safety though. That's about safety. So the thing
do
about
you
it
make me feel safe is what you're saying.
Do I feel safe sharing the way I feel?
Come on with it.
And that's the thing, is like what people don't understand is like take for instance, there are people in relationships where like a man will try to be vulnerable and a woman will cut him down.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, why are you trying to do that? You like a little bitch. And it's that part, right? And then there's that. And then there's also we carry a lot of times these suitcases with us, these baggage. Carry these suitcases, duffel bags with us. Yeah. And you might have been in a situation where that you had a similar situation, and that always it gets you in a certain
you holding
spot.
it.
You holding it.
You never let it go.
It gets you in a certain spot, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, you know what? We sometimes, we hold other people accountable for stuff that happened to us that had nothing to do with it.
That's why it's called self.
So it's like, but it's rough. That's the thing, it's rough. So if I don't feel vulnerable enough with you, it's not that I don't trust you, but I don't trust you with my feelings.
That's right. And I'm gonna keep making you pay from the thing I didn't heal from before I got to the door with you.
I've told somebody that. I was like, yo, I love you, but my feelings, I do not trust you with my feelings.
That's a different type of naked.
That's a different type of naked.
Emotional nakedness is
that's far worse than the fear of some of us women have I got a little pudge. It's far worse. That naked is far worse. It's far worse.
That naked is the truth.com.org.edu. That's like,
and I'm not saying men don't do it too. Men have it too, but I tend to see women do more of a double talk. What we expect from a man with his vulnerability, we still are not willing to give.
That's it.
So we double talk because why you laughing, girl?
Because you know it's the truth.
We're not willing. You know why? Because we'll be with guy A and guy A messes up. We move on, right?
Yep.
Well, guy B ain't even did nothing yet. But we like, yeah, you look at you got that same haircut, guy A, and he like that cologne. He don't even know what's going on. And he does one thing that we forgot or that gets triggered.
Right.
And he's paying for it. But then we get over it for the moment and expect him to go back.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
No. Men tend to be more sensitive than us with stuff like that.
Once you shoot that gun, man, listen.
Let me tell you how you should never hear me. You heard it here on TGGX from Black Pearl. Don't you ever cut a man down. Ever. Because just like a tree, it's going to take a minute for it to get back up. Don't you ever. You can know it. You can know it. And I'm not telling you don't speak on it. But to cut him down, don't you do it. You're going to be living with a stump. You're going to be living with a stump.
Yep.
A long time.
That's why they don't feel comfortable opening up. And I mean, I find that in a lot of my male clients, they don't feel comfortable opening up to their partner. And I'm just y'all consultant, and you telling me things. Y'all been together for years, but but I just take that information and tailor it to okay. So here's how to fix that, right?
Right.
But and that's all I do. That's my job. I don't happily ever after. Hopefully, y'all just. I'm gonna check back in, y'all running out of things. Hey, how that swing working? Okay. It's friendly, but stuff like that. But they have the same questions, y'all. They have the same issues. They have the same, it's okay. It's okay.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. When I say I agree so much. I just think that oftentimes we take a very selfish stance on love as well.
We do.
Right?
We sure do.
What's in it for me? Why didn't he? Why didn't she?
Right.
Why? Technically, love is not always about what you're getting. Most of the time, it's what you're giving. Right? But it's funny how we can understand that when it comes to religion, but we can't understand that when it comes to human to human. I'm just saying. I'm not here to take y'all to church. I'm just saying. Love is technically supposed to be the most unselfish act. And it is 1,000% self. It is the plug for when we are broken. It is the Band-Aid. It is the distraction, none of which describes love. And then we wonder why we're all walking around here hurt, broken, chipped. Codependency being flagged as love. No, codependency. Your codependency on a person in a relationship is just like you getting a bottle of tequila and drinking. It's the same thing. It just fills in the gaps.
But my question is this. See, the funny thing about it is I'm sitting there thinking about love. The definition of love, if we go, we're going to say the biblical definition of love, right? Love is not selfish. Love does not look to, that whole thing, right? Like I used to have a picture around here somewhere where they got the whole thing, right? Love is patient, love is kind, love does not, take what is that thing? It doesn't.
We get it. We get what you.
But see, the thing about it is that everybody's definition of love is different, right? And like we talked about Wednesday about love languages, right? We show love different ways, and sometimes it doesn't always translate to the way. Like she said, I could cook, I could clean, so I could fuck. So basically, your love language is is acts of service.
Acts of service. I thought that too. I thought that too.
That's love. But that's
right. That's what it sounded like to me. But what I think the thing about it is that she doesn't understand how to give conventional love. But see, the thing about it is that you can't love everybody the same way anyway.
Right.
Not everybody's shoe fits. Not everybody's foot fits in that shoe.
Well, good sex doesn't equal love. How about that?
It does not. It has nothing to do with it.
I will say this: I love good sex, but that's nothing to do with it.
It doesn't. Don't have a doggone thing to do. Go ahead.
Not for nothing. The stuff that you say when you're doing it is stuff you say when you're doing it. That's
but people imitate love because of good sex. I've heard many of people go, "Girl, I'm dickmatized," or "Oh, I'm locked in because of the vagina." But the thing is, that's the lust of it.
That's the lust of it.
It doesn't last. That does not last. Now, can it transcend into love? Absolutely.
It can change. It can transcend.
If I wanted to.
But
if you wanted to.
But that's the difference. Sex is not work. A relationship with love is,
Absolutely.
because you
That's
gotta
work.
choose it. Oh,
That thing is work. And
Girl.
I haven't been to work in a while. And I think that's sometimes, you know how you've been on vacation for a minute? You like, wait, I got to go back to work and deal with the people. I think that's my problem now. I think that's really my problem. Like, it's like, wait a minute, hold up. I got to try something different, right?
Right.
And it's like, I think that I'm a very loving person, right? However, I don't know if sometimes in the last, like I said, the last few stops I've been on this journey that I've been on, right? There's been times when I'm literally looking at the person, I'm like, yeah, no, I can't because you, and it's like,
because you, that's it, that's the whole sentence.
Well, no, but it's like I don't listen, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
You're, this is the situation, right? And like, but at the same token, I've always given like almost an excuse as to why I'm not with. So I'm giving excuses like, yeah, I want to be with you, but this is the problem, right?
Ooh, it's a but.
Look, this is my church finger. Can I just
Go ahead, church finger? Go ahead.
see, baby? I don't like to waste my time, right? My time is valuable. So
and can't get it back.
See myself with you at this point in my life. At this point in my life, now I can't say I didn't feel this way 10 years ago, but right now, today, as for me in my house, okay, if we're not going anywhere, if I'm not dating you on purpose for a purpose, okay, then don't.
What's the purpose?
My phone number, unless you ask them to go to my website. To, you know what I mean? There's no need.
If it ain't business, keep it popping.
That's what she said. That's what she's saying.
For you to have my number, so I'm gonna leave it at that.
No, you know what? You're absolutely right, because that's the truth.com.org. Like, at the end of the day, when you sit there and say that, like, when you get to a certain stage in your life, you're supposed to be doing this for a purpose, right?
Absolutely.
You can't just be some people's purpose is leisure.
But I want that. And I decided for myself that I'm ready for that, right? So I mean, I wasn't always dating. I've been single for a long time. Again, on purpose.
There's nothing wrong with that.
On purpose. Like, I came here to go to school and I came here to work, and that's what I've been doing, right? But I wanted to focus on me. And I was still, again, that self-love journey, all this, all that, do this, do that, and I gotta show up 100%. Because if I'm looking for you to fulfill me, I'm already starting off wrong. Like, I have to show up
exactly
all me. Right? And you have to show up all you. Don't look for me to, now I'll fill your cup, you know what I mean? But only when mine is running over. All right.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna stop.
That was a mouthful right there, girl. I think the other thing that we can agree on is the young lady in the video needs healing. Yes. And that is a scary process. No one tells you healing hurts like hell. They just tell you need to heal. And what happens is when you are faced with your, for lack of better words, demons, the things that hurt you in the past, maybe something your daddy did. Maybe you don't even know your daddy. Maybe you got raped. Just so many things. You get scared and you go, okay, I got to find someone. I don't want to be alone. Right? I don't want to be by myself. Let me run and get someone. And so now you take your demons and your demons tap this new person on the shoulder. And now you just a trend after a trend after trend. It is true. I don't care how much you sleep. You can lay down with every person that you meet. That healing is still needed. All you're doing is piling it on. And you will keep feeling unsatisfied. You will keep using a possession as a human person, like you possess them versus you love them. You're going to keep feeling like I'm being cheated on. This person doesn't love me enough. It's not good enough. And I'm sour and I'm bitter. That sex is just adding it on, because you cannot give what you do not already have. Period. You cannot do it. I don't care what you're saying. I can't teach you what I don't know. I can't show you what I don't know, what it look. I can't do it. And I think that's the problem. We keep looking outside of self to be filled. But if you don't know what it is, you're never truly going to be filled, because you don't even know. What is it? And if you don't want to be with yourself, who else? Why would someone else want to be with you? Why? I think it's good to seduce. You know what I mean? I think it's fantastic to seduce. Like I said, seduction has been around since
forever.
Yeah.
Forever, ever.
No.
We'll be
I
here.
get it. And I do believe, like, even when I was married, right? I remember I was like, oh, he ain't hugged me yesterday the way he usually hugged me when he comes to the door. Let me go get this outfit on it. You know what I mean? And I'm ready to go. But I know that wasn't it. You get what I'm saying to you?
Right.
It wasn't it. Again, my vagina is not the driving force. It is an entity of a bigger thing, of a bigger me, of a purpose that makes me wonderfully me. And until you feel that way about yourself, you're going to keep bumping into what you're
Absolutely.
avoiding.
Absolutely.
Because what happened is life goes, oh, did you forget this mirror? Oh, look at yourself. Oh, no, you don't want to? That's what happens. When you're like, why do I keep finding these people?
It's that 360 camera that keeps circling back around.
You're not addressing the issue, bro.
Right.
You're not addressing the issue, sis. You're not addressing it. So the issue is going to address you.
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
That's
You
it.
either tackle it or they'll tackle you.
That's it.
It's hard to digest that truth. It's hard. You know why? Because think of all of us that are looking for love, and that one person has to sit down and go, it's me. That's not an easy thing to tell yourself. Now, if you do it by choice, that's different.
I think I told myself that today. I said, "Oh, wait a minute."
Really?
Yeah, no. I had an epiphany. I was literally driving in the car. I was talking to somebody about a situation, and I sat there and I said, "Wait a minute. It's me. It's me because I have a pattern."
Okay.
Once you recognize a pattern, see, that's what thing. She recognized a pattern, right?
Right. That's right.
She saw something that she saw in herself that keeps on happening over and over again, right?
Right.
And a pattern, it doesn't happen one or two times and you say, "Oh, that's my pattern." No, it happens several times, right?
Right.
So at a certain point in your life, you got to say, wait a minute. And I have a pattern. I know what my pattern is. And I know that at this point, I definitely need to go find somebody to sit down and talk to. Definitely. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Support you on that, sis.
Like no, I think that's another. It's like the therapy part. Like even when I said, "Oh, she needs therapy," guess what? Again, I need it too. It's me too. It's not just you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the answer, and someone she said this. She said, I was talking to my friend, and she was like, I said, yeah, because I'm always thinking. And she said, well, what are you thinking about, and why are you thinking, and what are you thinking of, and and I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to find the answer. She says, the answer to what? I'm like, so you need to know what questions. You need to know the questions so you can. This is not Jeopardy. They don't give you the answer first and then what is. You know, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's you know, you gotta know what you at. You know what the situation is. And for me, I know, as you know, being very transparent. Yo, some days I'm like, I don't got it. Like I don't got it. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. It's like knowing that my seduction versus love is not really my issue. But I do have a pattern of doing certain things and dealing with certain types of people and XYZ, and it's not them.
Yeah.
You know, people say, "Oh, well, I'm always dealing with somebody who's toxic." So if you always dealing with somebody who's toxic, they say what's the name? What's that word? Like attracts like. So if you're toxic, then maybe you need to like look into your makeup and see what the situation is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like sometimes when people tell me something about myself, I'll go, I have to like literally, I go, am I be? Oh, okay. And then I think about it and I go, oh, yeah. Yeah, that was me. Yep, that was me. I did it. Yep. And now owning it, right? And saying it's mine. Right. But now what are you going to do about it now that you know it's yours? Yeah. That's the issue. You know what I mean? I think that's gonna be something that I'm gonna probably be 100 years old. And
we rebuke that whole thought. We're gonna manifest. And I say that to you as someone who was married to a narcissist. I had to realize what made me get this person, and what made me realize it is a narcissist loves a strong woman with weak boundaries. That's what it is, and I had to learn to work on my boundaries. Gotcha. I'm not gonna carry whatever was unloaded on me. That person keeps winning if I keep carrying it with me. Right? Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Thanks. No thanks. Move on.
But it took a while to get there though. That's the whole thing.
Oh, absolutely. But guess what? in my journey, I discovered and met the best person I could have ever met.
You. That's it.
That's it right
Yeah.
there.
There's only one of me. I have not met one human that can replace me, and I don't think it's worth it if you try. You get what I'm saying? Like, and it's not ego. It's I know my value. I know my worth. And just like Pleasure Plug, by choice, you know what I mean? By choice, I'm okay with when I'm not in a relationship. I'm okay with that.
That's a thing now. I think I know a lot of people like that. That are like, okay,
Yeah.
relationships.
I don't hate men. I love men. Ooh, and by the way, love black men. You know what I'm saying? That's not the issue. I just refuse to ever take less
than what you deserve.
than what I deserve because I know I'm never gonna give you less than what you deserve. Okay, so I could seduce, like you said. I seduce without paying attention. Right? I got my little top hat on. Hello.
It's exactly what it is. You seduce without paying attention. But see, those are the people. If you're doing it without even noticing that you're doing it,
That's the people that make me.
That's natural.
That's part of it, sweetheart.
Right.
That's natural. You're just doing it. It's like you're giving that general, you know, like Kristen Bell said about the Aquaman. You know, he has that rhythm. You know, there's a rhythm. Everybody, we know that rhythm.
And I'm just waiting for that person that's okay to do the two-step with me. Like
that's it. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with saying to yourself, you know, I don't know how to do it, but then at the same token, you do know how to do it.
Right.
Okay, well, when I'm not paying attention, I'm a pro.
Yeah. Certified platinum when you're
but
platinum.
I think I'm not paying attention to that because that's not my ultimate goal. Right. I want to build. I want to have the trust. I want to have the friendship. I want to be able to tell you stuff that I wouldn't tell anyone else because I know those foundations are what's gonna carry us, forward. And being transparent, I'm not saying it's the easiest thing. I'm not saying it's easy. Being transparent with you, I find more people scared of that because it's not the norm than willing to embrace it.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna scare
okay, well, listen, boo, we're gonna have to talk life for you because I'm not the boogie.
Wait a minute. You transparent? You showing me who you are?
Oh my gosh, you're being honest with me?
What? That
Wait a minute.
You actually want to give me something, a set of looking for sponsorship? Absolutely. Right. And I'm being honest. And so that there is something on the other side that's like, I hear you saying what you want, and here it is. It looks like what you want, but it scares you. So then that goes, wow, this person still needs to work on him or herself. Not that I go both ways, but you get what I'm saying.
Yep. No, I got you.
Right.
Yeah. I got you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I know you have one more nugget, Royal, because we kind of just.
Oh no, you're fine, sweetie. Y'all look. I was following y'all lead, but I was. So okay. So I'm gonna round it out with this one. Okay. I'm gonna round it out with this one.
Go ahead, sweetheart.
Right. So there are 4 steps. Okay, pause. So there's a book, if anyone is interested, and I'm not supporting this particular author because he's not paying me for what I'm about to say. I don't even know this gentleman.
We don't have no copyrights to whatever she's about to say.
At all. But there's a book called The Art of Seduction. It is written by Richard Green, I think his name is, or is it Robert?
It's a good
Robert,
read, guys.
Robert,
Again,
Robert
not
Green.
plugging the author.
Yeah, not plugging the author. I don't know this man, but it's called The Art of Seduction, and he goes into detail about the different types of seduction. And there's an actual quiz you can take to figure out which one you are and all this kind of jazz. But the book is very interesting, to say the least. And it speaks to kind of what we have mentioned today about energy. So it has nothing to do with gender roles. So when it speaks to feminine and masculine, it's speaking to about the energy. So, and I won't get into that because that's a whole other conversation. We start talking about feminine energy and masculine energy.
Girl,
but
we could be here all night.
Yeah, and we're not. So I love y'all, but we're not. But but just know that the book is available. And and it will help bring about a little bit more insight into this conversation too, and how to use your seductive skills. But I will take it a step further. If you read it with a spirit of how to transform you for the good, it'll provide that groundwork. So with that being said, 4 steps, the art of romantic seduction. Because romantic seduction is what you use when you're in that relationship. Okay. All right. Here
come on now. Step 1. I'm ready. Am I taking notes? Let me take some notes.
You don't need to take no notes because you mentioned it earlier. When you talked about like the preface of a book and how the book transcends. So the metaphor that I use in this is as I go through these steps, think about a movie. Think about any movie, and I dare say a action movie, because relationships have ebbs and flows, right?
Yes.
All right. So step 1 is sparking attraction. Sparking attraction. So when you're in the process of seducing someone, step 1 is to get their attention. And again, it can include sex, but it doesn't have to be all about sex. It can be some eyes. It can be the linguistic skills that you bring to the table, conversation. It can be touch. It can be a whole number of different things. It does not have to be isolated.
Okay, I checked them all off. What's up?
All right. The second step is building tension. Okay. Let me explain what building tension is. Building tension is to me, it's like the
turning the oven up.
Yeah, it's like the part of the book where you see it escalating. I think that's what the proper language.
Like when it said, and she walked into a dark room.
Right. So it's that build up, right? So you have this situation where y'all are meshing, and then you kind of fall back a little bit.
That's and that. Give them a little shoulder.
Take it right back. Right. And it's like, okay, well, is everything good or is it not good? Dun, 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 to be continued, right? Because you're on the edge. All right. So then after we go through the build intention, then we go into what is called, I can't see. It is called embrace desire. So when we start with this, step 3, we're looking at the whole climax part. Now, when I sock it to you, you're going to be like, holy crap.
Did you say sock it to you?
Sock it to me. Pop, pop. And you get that 2-piece pop, pop. Girl, and you're like, oh,
no biscuit? You got to get a biscuit.
Girl, make sure it's a Bojangles biscuit. Don't get that Popeye biscuit. So you
not bowls only. We don't got Bojangles in New York, but
yeah. Okay.
You don't.
They don't have Bojangles.
They don't. That's a Southern thing. You're right.
Yeah.
But,
well, it's a 2-piece and a biscuit. You know what a 2-piece and a biscuit is.
Right.
And so in that moment,
it's a beef patty and cocoa bread.
Yeah, it is. Got that.
I like that. So in that moment, you are, oh my God, this is who I want to be with, and this is it. This is it.
They give you all that up in here and the nervousness.
Right. Now, in this moment, this is your pivotal point, because either it's going to keep transcending upward or it's going to regress.
Or they're going to get scared and run. Come on, that's the third option.
Right. So understand that. So after we enhance or embrace desire and we take it on to the climax, then we got the bottom, which is the close. And what happens when we close the deal? Like I said, it was either going to go to the left or to the right. So
it can't go straight up the middle. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just asking. I'm really just asking.
So to be honest with you, I dare venture and say that it could go straight up the middle. And in a sense of just upward mobility. Straight up
the middle when it closed the deal, are you saying that you can only choose right or left? Is that what you're saying?
So if if you are dating, let me put it in proper context. If you're
Okay.
dating, okay, that's when we got the diverging roads, right? But if
Okay.
you're already in a relationship, then that closing the deal in that committed relationship, that's when we're in the rocket and we're gonna keep on.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm
You said
saying?
we're in a rocket.
We're in the rocket. We're gonna keep
Okay.
on, excelling. And so I just want to just share with everyone those 4 steps of, again, seduction in a romantic relationship. Because again, once you go through the wave, and every relationship has a wave. Some days it's on point for an extended period of time, and then maybe in a couple of years you hit this funky ebb, and you're like,
It
what the,
happens,
yeah,
though. It
but in that moment when that ebb happens, that's when a lot of people are like, oh hell, something ain't right, and they bolt because they automatically assume something is not right. It's not that something isn't right, it's just a funky moment in time.
You gotta recalibrate.
And you gotta recalibrate. Absolutely. Say it again, miscommunication.
You gotta recalibrate. You gotta recalibrate.
Absolutely.
Recalibrate.
Right.
Well,
it's a time
I
of
hear you.
resetting. So,
but are people willing to do that?
if you want what you want, you better.
Okay, now I just want to
Yeah.
see. I just want to
Own
see.
it.
Listen, you can be in a situation with anybody,
Right.
right? And go through so many things, like so many things. And you just know no matter what, y'all always come back around. But that's a choice.
That's it.
That's a choice. And I don't think enough people choose that.
Right.
So
And
that
then
being
you
the
define
case,
yourself.
ladies, we have made it past the hour.
Oh shit.
Oh, that was
Good
good.
Lord.
Can you believe it? No, just okay. But I do definitely want to get some final thoughts because all of my beautiful women here, brains and beauty, I know you have some wonderful tidbits for our TGGX family. So I'm gonna start off with Ms. Pleasure Plug. Girl, every time I say that, I just feel like rolling my tongue. Jesus.
Roll it. No, guys, this was amazing. Thanks again for having me. No, I would just encourage everyone to, like we were saying, start with you. Definitely communicate with your partner, and if you are single, communicate with the people you're dating. If you are getting physical, which I don't think you should be. I don't think y'all should be out there sharing your body, okay?
With any and everybody.
Your intimate parts, because I don't want anybody just entering my soul. But anyway, I digress. This is a judgment zone.
I'm
I
like,
want y'all to feel free to live your lives, but just be safe, guys. And that means protecting your soul, your mind, your heart as well.
yes, not just your body.
That body.
Miscommunication, girl. Miscommunication. Oh wow.
This show is serious for me. I mean, asked to be on this show and sit down and actually think about the stuff that just went
Listen,
down.
when the Pearl's your girl,
that was a lot. But
Pearl your girl, she gonna bring you to the table.
I will say this: seduction, is one of those things. A tool, right? And you got to know when to use these tools. You don't take a hammer to a clock. So this is the same thing. Learn when, and how you should use the tool of seduction. And as long as you know in your mind how to use it, then you'll be good to go. And if there's a question about whether or not you should use it or not, that's the answer.
Okay. Doctor.
I'm gonna use one word. Vulnerability.
Oh.
That's all I got.
And that would look.
Might drop for real, right?
Well, for me, mine is not a one word. Mine is a thought. Seduction is wonderful. The chase is wonderful. Sex, wonderful. But none of that will ever trump or override the importance of communication, honesty, vulnerability, knowing oneself and knowing one's value. But more importantly, feeling safe. with that person. I hope each one of you experience a person in life that makes you feel the way it feels like when you come home. Because you can't replace that. You can have all the sex in the world, but when you find that one person that makes you okay to be you, makes it okay to just be genuinely who you are and makes you feel safe, all those other things seem to be easier to fall in place. So, thank you for joining the Good Guy Experience and the ladies of the Good Guy Experience, where the experience is always good guys. You guys have a wonderful night, and we'll see you here again soon. Bye.
Bye.